me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
Welcome to Greenlight Maine for a winner's mentoring session. Here on Greenlight Maine, we are helping to grow Maine's economy one dream at a time. I'm Don Gooding with MCED, and I'll be moderating this discussion between entrepreneur and mentors, as I often do in my day job. With us in the studio is Brian Harris of MEDRhythms, as well as three mentors who are going to help MEDRhythms to address an issue that could be a barrier to their growth. So I'll introduce these mentors in just a few minutes. But first, Brian, congratulations on advancing to the next round of Greenlight Maine.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting for us.
Well, I love your business. And just to remind the mentors and the audience about it, what we'd like to do is show your winning pitch. And then, since it's been 6 months since then, we'll come back and we'll talk about what's new in the business. So let's roll the pitch. Take it away.
Thank you. I'm Brian Harris, neurologic music therapist and CEO of MEDRhythms.
And I'm Owen McCarthy, president of MEDRhythms.
Traumatic brain injury and stroke steals 2.5 million of our loved ones' lives each year in the United States. MEDRhythms exists to bring them back. MEDRhythms is a neuro rehab company that's positioned at the intersection of neuroscience and music, providing world-class, life-changing care through the power of neurologic music therapy. Recent advancements in neuroimaging has shown us that music engages our entire brain, and there's no other stimulus on Earth with such global activation. It has also shown us that music aids in neuroplasticity, helping the injured brain to strengthen old connections and create new connections to movement, language, and cognition following injuries to the brain, such as stroke, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and other related neurologic diseases. It's also been shown to improve outcomes and sometimes is the only thing that works. This has huge implications for neurorehabilitation.
So how will we attack this $28 billion market? It starts with our team and our CEO, Brian Harris, who's one of the world's best neurologic music therapists and has experience at one of the top 10 rehab hospitals. And myself, I have deep experience in sales and marketing, have a top 10 MBA, and have helped another company raise over $2 million in venture funding. In addition, we have a rock star advisory board to help us out. We will attack the market with three ways, beginning with targeting facilities to place therapists in facilities. We will then treat people in-home via our telemedicine platform. All along, we'll create a premium brand as the thought leaders in the field. To date, we are cash flow positive, have done over 1,000 hours of care, and have given presentations at 25 different places, including Partners Health and Google, and are working on contracts with top hospitals in New England.
1 in 6 people will suffer from a stroke in their lifetime. That's nearly 250,000 Mainers alone. And judging by the people in this room, it could be one of us. If that happens, I want them and I want you to have access to the highest level of care possible so that you can walk again and so that you can say, I love you to your loved ones again. That's why MEDRhythms exists. So judges, please help us help more people. Thank you.
Well, Brian, that's quite a story. I know a lot of things go on in the early stages of a company. What's new in the last 6 months?
It's been a really exciting 6 months for MEDRhythms thus far. And we've actually expanded our clinical team, so we've added therapists along there treating folks in facilities and in home. We've actually partnered with the Spalding Rehabilitation Network in Boston, where we're providing their inpatient and outpatient care there, which makes it the most comprehensive neurologic music therapy program in the country, which has been really exciting for us. We've added an MD to the board who specializes in neurotrauma and neurorehabilitation, and we're currently developing a digital solution to this problem to help scale and really provide access.
Wow, that's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So it's now time to introduce the mentors, but with an exciting twist, because we know that great ideas can come from anyone. It's not really about credentials, it's about creativity. And so I'm just going to introduce them by their first name, so you're not going to know whether or not they're a private equity investor or a journalist. So until the end of the show, all right? So first we have Charles. Charles, great to have you on the show.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Great. And are you ready to ask some good questions?
Absolutely.
Great. And in the middle, we have Cindy. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And you're ready to use all of your experience to help MEDRhythms grow?
My gears are turning.
Okay.
I'm thinking hard.
Awesome. Awesome. And then finally, at the end, we have Mike. Welcome to you as well.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to you also asking some great questions. So here we have it then. We have a winning entrepreneur with a great idea and a great team. And we have 3 anonymous mentors who are ready to help look at a big issue that you're facing right now. And so we're going to be back after a short break to talk about this very real business growth challenge here on Greenlight Maine.
Please visit greenlightmaine.com to follow the progress of your favorite entrepreneurs and find information and resources about becoming an entrepreneur yourself.
My name is David Shaw. I'm the founder of IDEX Laboratories. What began as a tiny startup on the Portland waterfront 30 years ago has become the world leader in its business. That includes diagnostics and information systems to improve animal health and test for food and water safety. The company is a wonderful local example of the amazing things that can be accomplished by an inspired team harnessing new technology to benefit the world.
IDEX, proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine, growing Maine one dream at a time.
It doesn't take much to change your entire travel experience. It's more than a flight, it's the whole trip. Connect to your world with daily non-stop flights to Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charlotte, and New York City. Portland International Jetport. Way better.
Please join us to find vital information on our website at greenlightmaine.com and be a part of our vibrant community on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Together, we're building Maine's future, one dream at a time.
We're back at Greenlight Maine with a winning entrepreneur and 3 anonymous mentors, all ready to dig into a very real business challenge to growth. So Brian, sounds like you are seeing lots of success already, but what's the business challenge that you'd like to talk about today?
Sure. So one of the questions that we have is we're developing this new digital solution to with our treatment, and how do we stage a product launch of our digital solution with respect to simultaneously driving awareness of this new healthcare treatment?
Interesting. So over to you, Charles. First question.
Yeah, I think that raises the first question that I've got is that based on your interactions with clients and care providers to this point, how important is the original care provider or the medical staff in actually getting a patient to adopt your therapy?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really great question. I mean, it's new, and so there's a lot that goes into having somebody be aware and sort of adopt this type of treatment. However, the results are very quick, and so when people see it in action, it doesn't take a long time for folks to adopt that.
Okay, Cindy, over to you.
Is your focus of presentations more to clinicians or companies or to families, patients?
And that's also, we have sort of 2 arms of this. One being that we are providing staff to facilities, so we are approaching facilities, but we also do in-home care. And with this digital solution, would likely be focused in both areas as well, that we would have a model that this could be incorporated in rehab hospitals, but also people could actually buy this for their homes as well.
Yeah, definitely a complex business there. Mike.
Brian, are you trying to market this directly to potential patients and families, or are you doing this through care provider partners?
I think it would be a little bit of both. As we said, we are focused on the facilities of driving, whether it be physical therapists or doctors or speech therapists or occupational therapists, using this product within a facility. But what we care about is the continuity and comprehensive care. And so when people leave the facility, we'd also like to be able to provide it to them as well.
Can I just ask us a quick question? So how broadly known is neurological music therapy at this point? Is it still just this little segment?
Yes, it is very small at this time. There's only about 1,500 clinicians in the world actually that are trained in neurologic music therapy, which is part of the need for needing this digital solution. Is we want to help and make a really big impact globally, and how do we do that with only 1,500 clinicians?
Yes, Charles.
Yeah, when you think about the delivery of the digital solution that you're looking to launch, obviously the technology that may be supporting that digital platform is critical, and the ability for the patient or the family member to utilize that technology platform is also critical. Have you thought about that, and what considerations does that put into play as you think about the launch?
And yeah, we thought a lot about sort of the delivery of this and how can we make this as easy as possible and user-friendly as possible. Currently, we're actually looking for a CTO to help us figure out the dynamics of that. But ideally, it would be a small piece of hardware and then maybe some sort of interactive app that, in terms of the software that would accompany that.
Interesting. Cindy, next question.
Thank you. How specifically will you tailor the music to the patient?
Yeah, and so with neurologic music therapy, we always try to use music that people enjoy and that people like. It makes it engaging and motivating. So the reason why the product that we do works is not anything to do with how much the person enjoys it, but actually the specific pieces of the music. So things like melody, rhythm, and harmony. So those are the most important pieces of it. But ideally, with this in-home system that we would potentially build, we would try to incorporate that familiar music as much as possible.
Interesting. Mike, over to you.
Yeah, it's exciting to think of a technology that could allow this care to be provided to more patients. Of course, you're also running a business, so you have to monetize this somehow. So talk a little bit about how you're thinking about monetizing this business model.
Great, and so we thought a couple of different approaches to this, one being just buying the hardware. And so there's a flat fee for just buying the hardware, but also what we're thinking about actually is buying the hardware and then a subscription fee that comes along with certain songs or certain interventions, and as people grow, we can have add-on packs as well as they get more in-depth into the treatment. So both the hardware plus a subscription model is where we're leading.
I'm going to ask another question. So what is the business purpose at a high level of the digital solution? Is that to complement the services that you're providing?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could complement the services we're providing. It also could complement the services that other therapists outside of neurologic music therapy are doing. And what we want to do, like I said, is this is a way to scale and to help more people without needing an actual neurologic music therapist there.
Interesting. Charles?
Yeah, when you think about delivering this to market, who is your real target customer? So obviously there are many influencers in actually the purchasing decision, but who is your customer?
Yeah, I think we're focused much in the neuro rehab world. So we're looking at neuro rehab facilities and the folks maybe that are in also doing private practice, physical therapists and that type of thing, but really looking at the institutions that are providing this care.
Cindy?
What kind of training will be needed at the facilities of the people actually helping the patients with this?
What we're hoping is that it will be minimal, is that this will be a very user-friendly, easy thing to do, and that the device itself maybe could do a lot of the thinking itself, so that any PT or any therapist could easily pick this up, and even people in home could easily wear this as well.
Well, we've been able to ask a lot of great questions. I think now it's time for our anonymous mentors to provide some initial thoughts on how you might address this challenge of how to balance the launch of a digital product and then getting the rest of the world to understand about this whole field of therapy.
So obviously critical when you're growing a business where you've got very limited resources, both from manpower as well as financial resources, to identify the market segment that is going to provide the most value to the business short term. So I think it's really incumbent upon you all to identify where's the place that we want to invest our resources. Is it direct to consumer, or is it to the facilities?
Okay, and well, you'll have time to come back after the break, but Cindy, initial thoughts?
I'm also wondering about how you're networking with places in the state. Are you focusing more on this state? Are you out of the state?
Well, we'll be able to come back and talk about that, but probably then the issue for you to maybe be thinking about is how are you going to be geographically spreading this this innovation? And Mike, over to you.
Yeah, so building on some of these comments, obviously when you're a startup, focus is critical. Successful startups always have focus. So thinking through how you focus on this versus your broader business, and really what is your number one priority is maybe one thought that I would share with you that you'd really want to wrestle with. And then general awareness as well, right? So how do you tap into networks that are out there already to spread the word? Because as you said, you're still pretty niche today, but there are some great networks that are existing that you could probably tap into.
Great, and I think I'm going to just add that what I think I heard you talk about the stage of development of the digital product is you may need a CTO to really get the product defined. So it feels like it's not something that you want to necessarily rush, but make sure that when you're getting out, you really have a very firm grasp of its implication for your business long term. So there we've heard it from the anonymous mentors, and I got to throw in a comment as well. So what are your thoughts about how to address this challenge? Feel free to post those thoughts on Twitter or at #GreenlightMaine or on our Facebook page. We'll be back after a break with our entrepreneurs' reaction to all of these ideas here on Greenlight Maine.
We help businesses increase sales. We help increase sales by providing business owners, chief executives, and marketing managers with effective advertising strategies and marketing campaigns. We help businesses increase sales by providing practical advice and tactical plans that are meaningful and measurable. We can help your business increase sales. Find out how at SutherlandWeston.com.
Hi, Ross here for Dysart's Restaurant. Everyone's having meetings. Meeting about this, meetings about that, meeting about meetings. How ridiculous is that? Got a meeting? Meet at Dysart's Broadway. Look at my chart. Dysart's Broadway's got 3 meeting rooms. A big one, a bigger one, and an even bigger one. And the big one and the bigger one can combine to be even bigger than the even bigger one. How ridiculous is that?
Great food, great service, and a great place for your meeting. Dysart's Broadway.
Big and bigger's bigger than even bigger.
Dysarts.com.
Ridiculous.
I'm not thinking about health insurance all the time, but when I do, I know that Community Health Options is there for us. Whether we're getting a checkup, a test at the lab, or we're in the hospital, Community Health Options is there every step of the way. They'll help you get the most of your prescription benefits and manage any ongoing conditions, so you can think about other things.
Member-centered Community Health Options. Sign up or re-enroll for 2016 at healthoptions.org.
If any of you in our television audience has a big idea, we encourage you to visit greenlightmaine.com for a list of resources and information about starting your own business.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We've heard our Entrepreneurs Challenge. We've heard some great ideas from the mentors. So Brian, which of all of these would you like to continue the conversation on?
Well, I think one thing that's really important to our business and something that we've certainly heard from the questions was about our focus or our target of who is our market and who is our customers.
Okay, so more questions or observations about who the customers are? I didn't hear anything about FDA approval and the insurance companies. Are they involved in actually paying for this?
So our goal with all of this is that we would have FDA approval and eventually, and we say eventually in the not distant future, that we actually could show, once we run some clinical trials on this, that we could show that this was beneficial enough to have the insurance company reimburse it.
But for now, is it out of pocket for the patients?
Yeah, I mean, the digital solution is still in development. We actually haven't released the digital solution yet.
I see. Gotcha. More discussion, things that maybe they ought to be focusing on to try to figure out who the customers are. I think you had asked that geographic question, right? Yeah, so how are you thinking about sort of New England versus rest of country or rest of world? Because this is global.
Sure, I mean, this has global implications, I think, and we have global goals as well. And I think for us, what makes sense is as we geographically expand with the therapy side of things, as we're driving awareness. And I think that the best way to drive awareness is to hit the top rehabilitation hospitals in the country. And Spalding being number 6, I think we're on that path. And then as we think about this digital solution, it probably makes sense for us to build out around those locations as well.
Brian, what are customers saying in reaction to this idea? Have you pitched this to them? Are they giving you some feedback already? Have you shared even like a sketch or a prototype of some kind with them? Yeah,
we've been asking lots of questions throughout this process in terms of this digital solution as well, and we've been getting a lot of feedback about how do you already do this in rehab, and are you using digital health, and what do you think about this idea? And the reaction has been vastly positive and vastly that yes, this helps. We know that the therapy helps. We're building this digital solution, and now we're just figuring out a way of actually bringing it to them. But the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive.
What is it specifically that they love about it? Like, what's really captured their imagination?
Well, I think the really interesting thing about this is how well it works. And that's the outcomes, the clinical outcomes are drastic, and they're drastic and repeatable and replicable often. And so when that's the driving force of this, that this really helps people get better, that really is what we're focused on and what people have been really surprised about.
Interesting. So it sounds like family members are the ones who are maybe doing the kind of reaction you're talking about?
Well, family members, but we also have clinicians that we work with. We also have administrators that we talk with at other hospitals that we're at as well that are really just excited about this, of the difference that it's making.
Yeah, so there's a lot of influencers in this very complicated sphere of people who are all trying to help these patients.
Really
very interesting. Well, I'm afraid we've come to the end of our current discussion, and it's time to reveal the identities of our anonymous mentors. So, Charles?
Yep, my name is Charles Miller. I'm the Director of Marketing and Scientific Support and Outreach at the Jackson Laboratory. We're a nonprofit biomedical research institution based in Bar Harbor, Maine.
Yes, well known throughout the world. Cindy?
My name is Cindy Avery. I'm a physician. I work for Penobscot Community Healthcare in Bangor, and actually I'm running a music program for my patients. We have a network of 23, 24 nursing homes that we work with. So I actually run a music program for them using shuffles and music there, and I teach at Maine Medical Center, and I also work in hospice, and I've used some music and memory programs there.
So you know this space. You must be excited about this.
I'm very excited about it. I think it's a great idea. I'd love to hear more.
Great. And Mike?
Hi, Brian. I'm Mike Erickson. I'm trained as a biomedical engineer. I'm now Vice President and General Manager of the Information Management and Software Business Unit at IDEX Laboratories. And IDEX, of course, is a Maine startup success story.
Yes.
We just had our 30-year anniversary, but it's a great company, and IDEX is the global leader in animal health diagnostics and software technology.
And you've also been a great supporter, sponsor of Greenlight Maine, so thank you for all of that. So as usual, we've been able to bring together some great resources, and we're going to continue that conversation. So now that we know the identity of our three mentors, it's time for a quick break, and we'll be back for some final thoughts here on Greenlight Maine.
As a leader in Maine and New England in providing integrated accounting, consulting, and tax services to clients large and small, the team at MacPage has proven to provide innovative solutions to help us better meet our clients' needs. We enjoy the people we serve and care about the work we do. The success of our business is based upon our ability to develop quality relationships, one client at a time. MacPage. Accessible, approachable, accountable.
My name is David Shaw. I'm the founder of IDEX Laboratories. What began as a tiny startup on the Portland waterfront 30 years ago has become the world leader in its business. That includes diagnostics and information systems to improve animal health and test for food and water safety. The company is a wonderful local example of the amazing things that can be accomplished by an inspired team harnessing new technology to benefit the world.
IDEX, proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine, growing Maine one dream at a time. Please visit greenlightmaine.com to follow the progress of your favorite entrepreneurs and find information and resources about becoming an entrepreneur yourself.
We're back for some final thoughts here on Greenlight Maine, and I want to start by thanking the three mentors who came on the show, because mentors are so important for the success of businesses. So some final thoughts, Charles?
Yeah, Brian, it was great hearing more about MedRhythms, and I think based on what you've communicated to us, that you've got an outstanding product that's really of value to the community. So I think as you think about launching your digital product and more products in the future, it's really going to be important to be able to educate the prospective customers or patients on the value of that product and think about the channels or the relationships that can be built between societies or other subject matter experts in the field to help you communicate that.
Great. Cindy?
Great product. From my perspective, I'd love to have more clinician input because we need to know what's out there and any way that I could be of help in that. And I also think you ought to tap into the veterinary market. They might need some MEDRhythms also.
Interesting. Mike, what do you think about that?
Why not? Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Brian, congratulations on getting off to a great start with this business. It's really exciting to see the traction that you're starting to get. We know there's a huge amount of unmet medical need in this area, and the science seems solid here, so it's exciting to see what's happening. What I'd say is, really think hard about this focus question. Really zero in and get that business model defined. Because hardware, software, how you monetize that. I would look at pre-existing business models that you could tap into and then spend as much time with customers as possible. Take Cindy up on her offer here because you want to hear what they have to say.
Okay, Brian, quick final thought, big takeaway for you here?
Well, thank you all for your expertise. This was really great feedback for us. And I think, as they mentioned, just to be super focused and think about our own strategy as we're launching this digital product, that's going to be completely different than our therapy product. So I really do appreciate that feedback very much.
Well, great. Well, all of us in the Greenlight Maine community wish you and your company all the best with the launch of that product, as well as in the next stage of the Greenlight Maine competition. Great. So speaking of that, for those of you in the audience, please watch our Facebook page and greenlightmaine.com for announcements about the rest of the competition. We're going to have a live event to narrow down our 13 competitors to 2, followed by the final 2 weeks of our online competition where you can help pick a wild card, and then finally a televised championship event where one of those 3 companies will walk away with $100,000. We'll also let you know when we start accepting video pitches for next year's competition. And remember, if you want to start your own business, greenlightmaine.com has lots of resources for you. So keep thinking big and keep the positive feedback coming, especially for the companies that you've seen on the show, because together, the Greenlight Maine community is helping to grow Maine's economy one dream at a time.
Greenlight Maine has been brought to you by IDEX, keeping animals healthy, milk and water safe. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you. Prize money for Greenlight Maine provided by Maine Accelerates Growth through a grant by the Maine Community Foundation. Outreach and community engagement in partnership with Maine Startup and Create Week. Furniture for Greenlight Maine provided by Thomas Mosier. Handmade carpets for Greenlight Maine provided by Mugalian Rugs. Broadcast facilities provided by the New England School of Communications at Husson University.
Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.